Where there's smoke, there's fire. And in this case, the fire is in the eyes of 19-year-old Bennett Life. Bennett is a blacksmith.
I'm making the knife here. It's kind of like a Bowie knife.
That's right. This young man is trying to make a living in this old profession. Blacksmithing is the ancient craft of hammering heated iron or steel into usable objects. It's something a lot of people did in the 17 and 1800s, but not many people, and certainly not young people, do today. But if being a 19-year-old blacksmith isn't remarkable enough, Bennett's a self-taught 19-year-old blacksmith.
I got started, I got to reading the old Foxfire books. Simple living, pretty much, you know. Maybe 14 when I started getting into it. It sure takes a lot longer to get to where you're doing everything the right way, but you know, mess up a whole lot more when you're self-taught.
Bennett works with steel. It's an alloy, a combination of iron and carbon. He repurposes steel he finds in local scrapyards.
It can be like car parts, you know, or old parts from old machines, you know.
But it's the higher carbon content items, like springs, he also finds, that are made of harder steel, and that's best for items he likes to make. Knives, for example.
Heat it up to about around 2,000 degrees, and then I give it to one of those coil springs. I just uncoil them, straighten them out, flatten them out, and just get the hammering on it and shape it out until it looks the way I want it to.
The flecks that go flying with each clash of hammer and steel are a byproduct.
Whenever you heat metal up to a certain point, it forms scale on the outside.
And give blacksmithing its name.
The black fire scale, that's where the name blacksmith comes from.
And it sometimes takes mighty swings of a heavy hammer to make the steel do what Bennett wants it to do. Bennett made most of his tools, including the coal forge he uses.
The fire pot's just an old brake drum from an old car, and just a bunch of old pipe fittings put together.
The forge is basically a fireplace that heats the steel up to the point that it's workable in the shapes.
You know, it's about hot enough when it's a good bright orange. You want to get much hotter than that.
Workable may make the process sound easier than it is. The steel only stays hot enough to work with for about a minute, so Bennett has to work quickly while remaining patient.
If you keep forging while it cools off, it can kind of damage the metal. You know, don't want to take any shortcuts when you're doing something like this.
Bennett spends upwards of 8 hours a day working in his shop on his family's land in a rural part of Kanawha County in West Virginia. The heat of the forge and the hard work on a summer's day like this one do cause a minor concern.
You gotta be careful and make sure you're not staying over top of the forge, because then all your sweat will put out the fire.
He's kidding, but it's not far from the truth. Bennett has started a business, Life's Forge, and he is just starting to sell some of his work online and at local crafts fairs. He finds a live demonstration draws the most attention. There's just something about that sound that rings true in people's imaginations. Perhaps it's a reminder of a simpler time that's part of our history, but Bennett hopes it's part of his future. I'm Dan Hollis.